If you're dealing with financial setback right now, I want you to know something up front. It doesn't mean that you're bad with your finances. It doesn't mean that your life is ruined for forever. And it definitely doesn't mean that you can't come back from this. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe, a licensed certified public accountant with over 10 years experience in corporate and public accounting. I have an extensive background in accounting, audit, and taxes. And I'm all about helping you take control of your money by living smarter. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications. And be sure to check out our blog site where we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Whether you got hit with an unexpected bill, lost income, had a tax issue, business slowdown, or just made money decisions you regret, this video is going to walk you through exactly how to manage a financial setback the smart way. So, let's get into it. So, let's start our conversation with what is a financial setback? And you could define it as a financial setback could be anything that throws off your money flow or creates financial pressure for yourself that you weren't really all the way expecting. So, when it comes to financial setbacks, think of things like losing a job, reduced hours at your place of employment, those unexpected medical expenses, those daunting car and home repairs that always come at the wrong time, that credit card debt that seems to keep piling and building up, falling behind on your bills, and owing taxes. And here's the truth: setback happens to almost everyone at some point. The problem is not always the setback itself. The bigger problem is how people respond to it. Most people, when they get into a financial setback, they usually panic, avoid checking their bank accounts, keep spending like nothing's changed, and that's where things usually get worse. So, the first goal is not to fix everything overnight. The first goal is to stop the damage and stabilize it. The first thing you need to do is to get clear on your financial reality. So that means step one is face the numbers. That means asking yourself, how much money is coming in right now? How much money is going out? What bills are due immediately? What debt do I owe? What caused the setback? And was this just a one time emergency? Or is this a sign that your budget, income, or financial structure needs to be changed? This is where a lot of people freeze up because looking at the numbers feels stressful. But avoiding the truth doesn't reduce the problem, it just delays the solution. So sit down and list your monthly income, your bank balances, your bills, your debt, and any upcoming financial deadlines. You cannot, you cannot create a recovery plan if you do not know what you're recovering from. When you're dealing with a financial setback, you need to go into priority mode. So, step two when dealing with a financial setback is to protect the essentials. That means your first job is protecting the things that keep your life functioning. Focus on things like your rent or mortgage, utility bills, groceries, transportation, insurance, and minimum debt payments. These are your financial survival categories. This is not the time to pretend everything is normal. This is the time to ask, what absolutely has to be paid first? That may also mean temporarily cutting out eating out, entertainment, online shopping, subscription services, and non essential spending. And I know a lot of people don't always like hearing that part, but temporary discipline can save you from long term damage. A lot of people try to use their current budget when facing a financial setback, and that usually doesn't work. So, step three is build a survival budget. And what you need to do instead, step three is building a survival budget. A survival budget is a short term, stripped down spending plan built around what your current money can actually support. Here's how it works. First, step one, you're going to list your current income. Step two, you're going to list your must pay expenses. Step three, you're going to pause or reduce everything that's not essential. And then step four, you're going to assign every dollar a purpose or a job. This is kind of budget that's not forever. It's a temporary recovery tool. Think of it like a financial emergency mode, because the biggest mistake people make after a setback is trying to maintain an old lifestyle with new financial circumstances. That usually leads to more debt, more stress, more late payments, and less control. A reset budget gives you breathing room. If your financial setback causes debt to pile up, don't stick your head in the sand. So, step four is don't ignore debt or tax problems. This includes credit cards, personal loans, medical bill, past due utility bills, and tax balances. Ignoring debt does not make it disappear. It usually just makes it more expensive. Start with this. Be sure to make minimum payments where you can. Identify which balances have the highest interest. Watch for late fees and penalty charges. And contact your creditors if you need help. A lot of companies have hardship programs, temporary payment reductions, deferred payment options, and settlement options or payment plans. And if the issue is taxes, please don't wait until it turns into a bigger IRS or state tax problem. Tax debt usually gets more stressful the longer it sits. Working with a tax professional or a CPA can often help you to understand what you owe, set up payment options, reduce surprises going forward, and help you to fix your withholdings or estimated tax issues. And that's a big one, because some setbacks is not just spending. Sometimes it's poor tax planning. One thing I always tell clients is that you can only cut but so much. At some point, you're going to need to figure out how to increase your income too. If your setback is serious enough, recovery might require both lowering expenses and increasing cash flow. That could look like picking up extra work, freelancing, selling unused items, offering a service, raising prices if you have a business, and following up on unpaid invoices, and asking for more hours or seeking out better opportunities. A lot of people stay stuck because they only focus on what to remove instead of also asking, how can I bring in more money? Sometimes recovery is not just about being more disciplined, sometimes it's about being more strategic. Once the immediate pressure is under control, your next step is to rebuild. This is where you stop reacting and start planning. Your rebuild plan may include rebuilding your emergency fund, catching up on late bills, paying down high interest debt, improving your credit, fixing your tax strategy, and creating a more realistic monthly budget. And here's the important part: financial recovery usually does not happen in one giant move. It happens in small, consistent moves, like saving $25 at a time, paying an extra $50 toward debt, reviewing your finances weekly, planning ahead instead of reacting late. That's how financial stability is rebuilt, not through perfection, through consistency. This part matters more than people think. There's an emotional side of money setbacks. It doesn't just affect your wallet, but they affect your confidence. A lot of people will feel embarrassed, ashamed, angry, defeated, and even behind in life. And if that's where you are, I want you to say this clearly. A setback is a season, not your identity. You're not the first person to go through this, and you won't be the last. What matters is whether you keep avoiding it or start taking control of it. Because every strong financial comeback starts with somebody deciding, I'm done. Let's letting this run me. If you're dealing with a financial setback right now, here's your takeaway. Face the numbers. Remember, not facing it and knowing what your reality is won't help to solve the problem. Protect the essentials. We're going to cut out any spending that doesn't matter, and we're going to make sure that we protect our essentials that we really need. Number three, build a survival budget. Remember, this is just a temporary budget to get you through this season of financial setback. Four, address debt and tax issues early. Trying to avoid them can really speed up your setback, but addressing them early and taking advantage of any type of deferment or setting up a payment repayment plan will help out a lot. Five, we're going to focus on cash flow. We're going to figure out a way of how we can increase our income. Remember, we can only cut but so much. We got to figure out a way of how to increase our cash flow. And number six, we're going to create that rebuild plan so that way we don't go back to where we were. A setback can absolutely be recovered from, but only if you respond with structure and honesty. If you want help understanding your numbers, fixing your tax plan, or getting your finances back on track, that's exactly the things a CPA can help you with. If this video helped you out, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment below. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more financial guidance. And be sure to share this video with someone because there's a lot of people walking around dealing with financial stress and silence. And I'll see you guys next week to break down more personal financial topics.